Alright, so this is just We the People News. Alright, this video is without prejudice or without recourse. Alright, anything I say or do is not legal advice. Why? Because I'm not an attorney. That's why. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and stand on UCC 1-308. And just for argument's sake, I'm going to go ahead and do the UCC-1-207. Okay? I never look straight forward, y'all. I always look around me to be able to protect myself by any means necessary. Alright? Let's go ahead and do this one. It's a black screen, so I decided, well, I'm going to color it up a little bit. Not by a whole lot, but I'm going to color it up a little bit. Alright, let's go.
Good morning. No, you're not going to see anything on the screen, so if that's what you was hoping for was a visual, it's not going to happen this morning. However, just wanted to come on here and drop some jewels for you guys. Because the more you study, the more you know, and the more you know, the more you figure out, the less you know. I know it seems like a contradiction, but hear me out. Are you people, or ladies and gentlemen, who are having friends, family, and constituents thrown in the clink, it's important for you to understand the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 8th Amendment, ladies and gentlemen. And although the state does not have to abide by the 4th, 5th, and 6th, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 8th Amendment of the United States Constitution, the state does have to abide by the state constitution. And in the state constitution, you will also find connected the Bill of Rights. And in the Bill of Rights, it will talk about the federal United States Constitution, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 8th Amendment. And the verbiage may be verbatim, as in some states I've found in the state constitution, the right to be secure in your houses, papers, persons, and effects without a warrant. That would be the 4th Amendment, federally speaking. In your state constitution, it may be Article 1, Section 26, Section 21. You'll have to go look. Okay? So that's your right not to be accosted without a warrant. Then the 5th Amendment, of course, is the right not to self-incriminate or testify against yourself or provide information that would be damning to yourself. All right? And then you got the 6th Amendment, which is the right to face the man or woman making an accusation against you, the man or woman saying that you caused them harm, damage, injury, or loss. Okay? But the most important, when they're trying to set bail and bond, ladies and gentlemen, is the 8th Amendment in the federal Constitution. And like I stated earlier, federal Constitution really doesn't have any weight, force, and effect in your state, because each state is its own country, okay? And because of that, it has its own charter. It has its own set of rules. Although they mirror or mimic or are the same as the federal Constitution, it's important to understand that each state constitution existed long before the federal Constitution, ladies and gentlemen. All right? So your state constitution reigns supreme in the state. And the 8th Amendment says that excessive bail and bond and cruel and unusual punishment shall not be had. In each state constitution, they have similar verbiage. Go find it. This is what you're going to put in your habeas corpuses when somebody's arrested in your family without due process of law. It's important to understand that under Title 5, 556, okay, easy one to remember if you're a gun-toting, loving American, 556D. All right, 556D clearly states that when denial of due process occurs, the court is without jurisdiction immediately. We don't have to have a court hearing to prove that they don't have jurisdiction anymore. Once the denial of due process has been violated, the court lacks jurisdiction. And to prove my case in point, you need to go look at Miranda versus Arizona, which was a pretty sinister case. It was really hard for me to read that case knowing that this guy more than likely was engaged in abusing children, okay? But nevertheless, they denied him due process of law, which meant that all the evidence that was collected and gained was no longer valid. And because of the denial of due process of law, the court lacked jurisdiction. They had no choice but to let him go. That's where the Miranda rights came in, okay? So Miranda versus Arizona will show you that Title V, USC 556D, is true, factual, and accurate. So anyway, back to the state constitutions. I want to get back to the 8th Amendment. You need to go into your state constitutions and find what mirrors or resembles the 8th Amendment. Excessive bail and bond shall not be had. Cruel and unusual punishment shall not be had. And you need to write that down in your habeas and submit it to the clerk of the court, the sheriff. And within 72 hours, you'll be before a magistrate. Now, they're supposed to take you to immediately before the nearest magistrate. So if it takes 72 hours, that in and of itself is a denial of due process of law, because the courts are open to the American people 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's right. If the sheriff can call at 3 in the morning and get a fucking warrant executed, well, by golly, you can also get a hold of the judge at 3 in the fucking morning to get out of jail. All right? It's pretty fucking simple. But if you don't know your rights, you don't know how to be boisterous and stand up for your rights, well, then they will run all over you. So what supports the 8th Amendment in the federal Constitution? Well, that would be the Treaty of Ghent. Remember, the treaties supersede the constitutions, and we learned that one in the land patent class when it was discovered, the Summa Corp versus the state of California, and the ruling. We have ruled and ruled and ruled on this subject matter time and time again, and we will rule on it no longer. That was a warning to every judge throughout the land. The land patent is the highest title any man can hold, okay? Now, there was another decision that came out of Summa Corp versus California where the conclusion stated that the treaties are superior to the constitutions. And that was incredibly impressive, because Summa Corp versus the state of California was where the state of California was encroaching upon land and trying to annex it. And the state of California claimed that they had right to the land, and they didn't. And the conclusion from one of the justices was that the treaties supersedes the state of California's constitution. So, very important knowledge to have gained. And if you want to read about it, I invite you to go look at Summa Corp versus the state of California, which will show you that treaties supersede even the United States federal constitution. So the Treaty of Ghent is what Abraham Lincoln was absolutely bound by when they went to free the slaves. The Treaty of Ghent is what he had to abide by and comply with in order to fulfill the law, okay, the law of the treaty. And so if he had failed to do so, he would have fell into international dishonor, and their corporate charter wouldn't have been able to borrow from any other country internationally engaged in commerce. That's why Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves, allegedly. Why I say allegedly is because slavery is really a choice. The treaty, again, far superseded the 14th Amendment. And then, of course, you look at the Law of Nations. The Law of Nations very clearly and equivocally lays it out that no man shall be a slave in any nation, in any land. So, with that said, I love you guys. I hope this helps you out if your friends, family, and loved ones are incarcerated for benign, vague, and ambiguous bullshit. 4th, 5th, 6th Amendment, tied together with the 8th. Find it in your state constitutions and in the Bill of Rights. Put it down on a piece of paper. Title the writ habeas corpus. I like to use extraordinary writ of habeas corpus, but you can title it however you want. And slam it down before the sheriff. Make sure the clerk of the court has one. And sit back and watch the magic happen, all right? Because once they're duly informed of this, now they're 100% liable. See, they've got plausible deniability until you put it in their face. Once you put it in their face, they don't have plausible deniability anymore. So, I love you guys. Have a beautiful, blessed morning. And we'll talk to you soon.
Alrighty. Diesel We People News, y'all. Till next time. Bye.